Broads Media.
Hello, all of you beautiful, fine people on planet Earth. If you are new to this channel, hello! We break down Philadelphia sports here. It's a circus. If you want to join, well then, of course, smash the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button as well. And if you want to take these podcasts on the road with you, what if I told you you could? All you got to do is search Sports Talk with Broads on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. And if you leave a 5-star rating and a review, that will go so far. So thank you all so much. And lastly, we have memberships here on the YouTube channel, and we do Coffee with Broads live streams twice a week where we kick back, we have our coffee together, and it's a lot of fun, man, and I can't thank you all enough. It's $4.99 a month. You also get access to our Discord channel, which is a 24/7 chat room where we get to communicate live during the sporting events that are going down, and it's a blast. So I love you guys all to death. If you're interested in it, the information is down below in the description. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm sunburnt as shit. So I consumed the Phillies game this afternoon in a way that I haven't in years. I listened to all 9 innings on the radio from the beach, and it was electric. I loved every second of it. Now, it was a little bit of a buzzkill considering there wasn't that much happening. And when Bryce Harper tied it up 1-1, I was fired up. High-fiving the people next to me. Here we go. Here we go. And then in the 7th, Kerkering hit somebody with the pitch. You're down 2-1. And then, well, then the errors started to pile on. Although the Brandon Marsh misplay was labeled a triple because when he slid, the ball went underneath of his glove and continued to roll all the way to the wall. So there was no error on the actual sheet. But regardless, that needs to be caught. And yes, Rojas does catch that one. But what am I going to do with that information? I'd rather have Brandon Marsh playing than Rojas. You know who normally catches that one? Brandon Marsh. He did it this particular outing. But let's not act as if there haven't been sequences where Johan Rojas missed one that hit him square in the glove. So yes, you can make the argument that Johan Rojas makes that play. But Brandon Marsh makes that play. He does. I know he didn't, but he does. He made an excellent diving grab in the first. Him and Nick Castellanos, actually. It is funny and weird, though, because you hear it all play out with the audio. And then once I got back to my wife's family's beach house, I pull up the extended highlights on YouTube so I can actually see it all. So I can see the diving grabs. I can see Castellanos with the typical ass slide catch that he had in the first. And really, I needed to see those errors, right? I mean, I needed to see the errors. And boy, Alec Boehm, I don't want to hear any excuses that the base runner got in your way and it fooled you and your brain was overthinking. No! Come on! You know what would have been insane? If Bryce Harper down 2-1 hit his second solo shot of the day to tie it up 2-2 with the chance to sweep. But instead, scores 5-1. He makes it 5-2. That's not as cool. The most irritating part of the game was the sloppiness by Bowman Marsh. The second most irritating part of the game was obviously what transpired with bases loaded. And as a Nick Castellanos guy, to see him strike out with bases loaded, it broke my heart. Well, there were still more opportunities. And Brandon Marsh, well, it broke my heart a second time. And seconds later, in a favorable count for Ranger Suarez, an 0-1 count, I got to watch Merrill giving a how do you do to right field when Rangers family is there to watch. His poor family had to see the Phillies squander an opportunity. Think of his family, will you, Nick? Will you, Brandon? Think of his family. I needed a grand salami. I needed a bases clearing double. I needed something so his kids know, holy shit, this place is popping. Damn, my dad's a cool customer. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But instead, you come up flat, you get 0 across the board, and then Merrill pimps his father off. Come on, boys. Ridiculous. But you knew, didn't you know? It always feels that way. Whenever you don't take advantage, something's going to happen. Now, solo shots shouldn't kill you. And quite frankly, it didn't. Because Bryce's first solo shot of the game tied it up. And maybe he was a little pissed off or what happened in that first inning when they, had definitely some at-bats there with base runners on. Let's go! It just wasn't meant to be. Now, am I actually angry? No, you still win the series. A season sweep of San Diego could be lovely, but it is what it is. You did your job by maybe just a hair because you escaped in game 2, but I don't care. That's a sign of a great team. That with, 9 pitches in the 9th when you're down, you can come back and have a walk-off win? I value that. So I'm not looking at it in any pessimistic way that, technically, they were just short of actually dropping the series. You could do that all the time. You don't think that there's good teams out there that win a game 2-1 in a 3-game set that easily could have been a loss 2-1 the other way, right? A 1-run game, a late comeback. You know how many late comebacks happen with the Dodgers, that happen with the Yankees, that happen with any of these teams? Good teams win late games late. Good teams win late. So, no pessimistic view in my eyes by any means. All right? That knuckleball was dirty. A little dirty dancing, no? That knuckleball was ridiculous. That thing was moving all around. Reminds me of my prime back in Little League. We all used to try and throw the knuckle. And then our manager, our coach, will look at us like, you're 8. you're 7. Shut up and throw a 2-seamer, will you? Give me a little 2-seamer and a circle change. You're lucky if you try and throw a 12-6. But other than that, dude, chill with that knuckle. Although we had one kid in our team, Kevin, he threw a disgusting knuckle. And if you remember those gloves that had the batting glove attached to it, and it was red and blue. They also had a black version, but it was red and blue, and it almost looked like Spider-Man. He rocked one of those, too. Probably not good swag, but we were young and we were dumb. Now let's look at what happened in the second inning. Marchand up at the dish. I've seen Marchand do some damage for this team. You got a man on first base. He lines it to the third base side. It goes right into the glove, and now they double you up. Sometimes it's just unlucky. But I will say, the Phillies had their version of a really good double up with Edmundo Sosa's glove as Trey Turner not in the lineup. And I guess that was all worked out prior. Yeah, we're going with Sosa. We're letting him get some action over at short, and he throws the ball a little to the right of the first base bag. But Bryce Harper, able to stay calm, grabs the ball, and then goes and tags first base with his leather. Pretty ridiculous effort to make the double play happen, but they made the double play happen. I can't praise defense today, though. I'm sorry. The defense murdered you. Murdered you. Kirkering wasn't great either. All right, it wasn't very lovely. You hit someone with the pitch. They end up taking a 2-1 lead. The second Ranger, Suarez, leaves the game. But he didn't kill you either. It wasn't perfect, but I can expect this team. And realistically, Bryce Harper did it. Bryce Harper did do it. I was going to say, I expect them to be capable of scoring more than one run. So if you're down 2-1 and it's the 7th, 8th, 9th, you're at home, don't care if it's hot as hell, you got a chance. Let's go. You've already done it against them a day before. Not only 24 hours ago were you not filling that ballpark with crazy amount of adrenaline for getting to their pen within seconds of the 9th. So it's in there. And you believe that there's life to it because you just saw it happen. I just witnessed it. I just experienced it. It just happened. So it wasn't lovely by Kerkering, but it wasn't destroying you to the point where there's no return. Alec Bowman, Brandon Marsh, they destroyed you without any return. Although I didn't want to close my Odyssey app in the 9th when it was, well, once the score hit 5-1, we went with my wife's family and all, and I guess that would be my family at this point as well. I always have this debate. If I go to my wife's aunt and uncles, because they got a house down the shore, is it my aunt and uncle? Or do I always say my wife's aunt and uncle? It is my aunt and uncle at this point, but whatever. That's a little side topic. He said that my aunt, all right, goes, this was when Nick Castellanos hit the walk-off. It was that night. Maybe we should go up to bed. And he was like, you know what? Maybe you're right. So he turned the TV off. He went to sleep. He woke up. He had his coffee. He had his breakfast. He didn't find out until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon when this final game was about to start that the Phillies actually came back and won. But I didn't want that to happen to me. God forbid I'm cooking and frying on the beach, getting my tan on, loving every single second of it. And I put the phone away thinking this thing's all wrapped up. No. Not because of what just transpired. I gotta give it every single ounce of my blood, sweat, and tears into these eardrums. I didn't get the reward. I did not get the reward. But it's okay. They have an off day. They get to recover. And who but the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town? Don't care. It's not the same exact team. I don't want to hear it. That stupid logo. All right, the stupid manager. All of it. I hate them. Hate them. All right, let's hear your phone calls. I'll shut up.
Yo, bro. Hey, man. Obviously, we didn't complete the sweep. We did win the series. Weirdly enough, man, I'm not overly pissed at this game or anything like that. One, it's hard to be pissed in any game when your best player just hits 2 bombs. Like, that's always a beautiful sight. And then, a couple plays go right. It's a different ball game. I think, I don't know what the fuck happened to Bohm on that routine grounder. But Marsh with the dive and when he missed the sliding grab and then the getaway and they clear the bases, like that's what really broke it open in my opinion. And honestly, man, it's like I'm okay with living with that because if he makes the catch, then we're praising for how great of a play it was. But you got to attempt it to make it. He attempted, he didn't get it. Oh well. Like I said, I don't think it was a terrible game. I would have loved for some other bats to show up today, but hey, that's just how some of these games go. Either way, good series win. Way to bounce back after those couple of rough series. Let's move on to Friday, man. Go Phillies.
Yeah, your overall thought of this is fair, right? I mean, you still win the series. I'm not mad at them either. I just react the way that I do. When Bryce shows up, it's always a ridiculous moment. And I listened to Rob post-game saying it was a do-or-die situation, essentially. With Brandon Marsh, you have to sell your soul to make that catch, and you got to put it all out there to try and make it. And I don't disagree with that. I guess my point of it all is I think he should have made the catch. Like, I'm not saying it's not high difficulty. I'm not saying it's not tough. I'm not saying that, he was perfect in every single aspect of the route or all of that and everything in particular to every little detail to get to that ball. But with everything that played out and with his slide, I think he should have had that baseball. I think he put himself in a position to slide and make the catch, and the ball sort of dipped underneath of him. It was there to be made. That's all. I mean, I thought it was there to be made. So, did you have to sell out? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was an attempt where you had to leave your feet. You had to try everything to make it happen. But I thought he put himself in a position with the slide that it was a high probability to make the high difficulty catch, and it went all the way behind him and to the all the way to center field there, which was crushing. So that's the way that I look at it. I'm not mad at him for attempting to make the catch. I just think he should have been able to make that catch. But what I won't do is act as if, well, it's a no-brainer that Rojas, I mean, there's already speculation that maybe due to the knuckleballer, maybe he wouldn't even have been in the lineup. Maybe they would have done different things. Now I'm starting to see how much of an elite, I think it was Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports who threw out all of these analytics talking about what Brandon Marsh provides for you in left field compared to center field. So he said, this is Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports. He's fine with the Phillies wanting to improve the offense. They need an outfield bat regardless if Johan Rojas is here or not, but you just can't justify keeping David Dahl on this team and taking an elite defensive left fielder and putting him in center field. So I guess Jeff Kerr is making the argument that why is Dahl here? If Brandon Marsh is that good at left field, maybe there was something to be said about Rojas playing center and Marsh staying at left, or going out and getting a better outfielder, which I anticipate Dave Dombrowski doing at the trade deadline, and just essentially keeping Brandon Marsh in left because of how much of a weapon he is over there. Somebody responded and said, elite? That's wild. And Kerr responds with, Brandon Marsh is fourth amongst left fielders in defensive runs saved and over the last 2 seasons while playing left field. So fourth over the last 2 years in defensive runs saved in the entire league. I think he could play center for sure. Is he preferred if I could have all of the options in the world? I like him playing left over center, but I think that you can have a really successful team with him playing center. That's how I see it. And keep in mind, I wonder if he was just given the center field role, and I'm not telling you they are going to do this, but just along the lines of, okay, if he plays left field every day, then there's a comfortability of playing left field. If he played center field every day and it was locked down, yo, this is your spot, I believe he can be groomed into being a really good center fielder with really good analytical data. I don't know what the analytical data says right now, but I don't think it's outrageous to assume that Brandon Marsh, if given that this is yours, that he could be a really good center fielder for you instead of bouncing around left field this day, center field this day, not playing this day, lefty on the mound, sitting 2 days in a row, playing left, off another day, playing center, you're bouncing around a little bit. I don't know. Is there anything to that aspect? I feel there's got to be something to the dancing around nonstop, no? All right, let's take another call.
Can we please move on from Greg Soto already? How many times do we have to see outings like this? And no, I'm tired of hearing, oh, Johan Rojas would have made that catch. I don't care. Have you seen Rojas at the plate? He's terrible for a major league level batter. That's why we moved him to AAA, for Pete's sake.
I agree, and he's not even as splashy as we wanted to in the outfield. So I'm with you there. The Gregory Soto thing, though, is more defense than anything else. I'm not the biggest Gregory Soto fan in the world. I also think that he does have some really good outings in there that sometimes we may forget about because the ones that hurt sting a ton, and you remember the bad way more than you remember the good. So I'm not anti-Soto. I think he's a fine bullpen arm. I'm not like, yes, high leverage guy. I think maybe Rob Thompson uses him in positions that I would stay away from. But at the end of the day, I don't blame Gregory Soto for this particular outing. I'm way more aggravated with what happened behind him because, well, if he got the catch out in center field, then we're having a completely different story. But that does bring up an interesting question about Soto because, you know, there are times that make me very nauseous when he's on the mound and he is put in position with runners in scoring position or to clean up an inning. And I'm just curious what his splits are in 2024 when there are men on base. So if I go to Baseball Reference, count bases occupied, with runners in scoring position, batters are hitting 205. With men on, 255. That's not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad. So it's one of those sequences where it feels worse than what it is. I'm not telling you it's great, but 205 with runners in scoring position, teams are hitting. I don't know what that compares to when it comes to the rest of the relievers around baseball. We have a lot of dominant arms on this staff, so I don't know. But it feels worse. I'll tell you that. It feels worse. 255 with men on is a lot different than 205 with runners in scoring position, to be fair. 255 with one man on, a 455 batting average. Oh, I'm sorry, that's with a man on first. With a man on first, 455 batting average. With a man only on second, an 067 batting average. A man on first and second, guys are hitting 294. All right, some of these numbers get a little crazy. On first with 2 outs. Okay, yeah, I'm starting to look at more and more and more. We could get into the nitty-gritty of it all. But do with that information what you will. I'm just not mad at Soto in particular on this afternoon. Let's go to Zach in Baltimore.
Well, that's a tough game for this lineup today, minus Bryce Harper. And it's a shame because Ranger Suarez really was good out there, as he always is. Maybe he didn't go as deep into the game as we anticipated, but still a great performance. And, you know, there's the lineup. They didn't perform, and then the bullpen was a little shaky. Kirkering just didn't have that sweeper to finish guys off. For Anthony let some guys get on, and then Soto gave up that triple that Marsh laid out for, couldn't get it. 3 runs scored, and that was pretty much the game. Listen, man, it's hard to sweep a season series. I don't care who it is, and the Padres are a mediocre team. Even a bad team, it's hard to sweep a season series. So, I mean, if you want to, we can just chalk it up to that. But, hey, we got Arizona coming back. Payback time, baby. I want to sweep. No Phils.
That would be lovely. Oh, man, would that be great? And I want that place, not that it's ever not, all right? We live in a world now where that place is cooking. That place is cooking no matter who's here in town. But I want to see an extra sense of urgency from this fan base with it being Arizona. I don't even know how good Arizona is right now, how bad Arizona is. They're 2 games under 500. I was going to say, the last I looked, they were basically flirting around 500. But let's see what they've done recently. They lost to the Nationals. Was this today? Yes, they lost to the Nationals today. They played Thursday afternoon to wrap up that series. It's 1-1 right now because Arizona won the first game, Nationals won the second game. They ended up taking a series against the White Sox, which is not surprising prior to that. They took a series from the Angels prior to that, which is not surprising. They split a 4-game... No. They lost. No. They split a 4-game set with this same San Diego Padres team that we just saw. So that's sort of what has transpired prior to them coming to this ballpark. But I do want to see this place jumping jumping. I want to see this place rocking. I want a damn statement that we're hurt. We are hurt. We are in pain. We suffered. And the fact that we finally get to see that fucking logo again. I don't care you're not the same team. I don't care that it's a new season. Let it be known that you piss us the fuck off. Like, I want to play with that mentality. I want to play with that level of fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I want it to be nasty. I want it to be real nasty. Now, who's on the bump for this series? We got ourselves a little bit of Taijuan Walker to start the things off in game one, followed by Jordan Montgomery versus Zach Wheeler. That'll be fun. By the way, Jordan Montgomery, a lot of us wanted him, wanted Blake Snell as well. Taijuan Walker's doing better than both of those cats. I mean, and look, truth be told, I wanted one of them. I wanted to add starting pitching. I wanted to go get a big name. I had concerns about Blake Snell. I wanted Jordan Montgomery more. Jordan Montgomery has a 6 ERA. So if you're sick and tired of Taijuan Walker is giving you significantly more than Jordan Montgomery. But think about those two going after it. Maybe not significantly more, but Taiwan's 5.33 ERA is better than a 6 ERA. And then you got that weird Sunday morning game with Christopher Sanchez on the bump. Sub-3. Christopher sub-3 ERA. So just something to look at as we prepare for an upcoming matchup here. All right, we'll take Amadeo, and then we'll wrap things up.
Don't worry, I already know what the main complaint of miserable Phillies fans is going to be after this game. I knew who would have caught that ball out in center field. That's why you don't send down Johan Rojas. Brandon Marsh is not a good defensive outfielder, granted, ignoring the great play that he made earlier in the game. Sometimes you just miss, and sometimes you overplay a ball. Brandon Marsh, yeah, probably played that not the best, but I think, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, he probably makes the better catch or he makes the better play.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. It is what it is. You won a series. That's the most important thing. Yeah, it sucks that you don't get to sweep. Yeah, your offense did set the tone, not scoring with the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning. And yeah, the runners in scoring position has definitely been a major issue with his offense in the past few games, which sucks. But I do think that's going to improve just as you get healthier and as, your guys get back into the swing of things. But, yeah, definitely outfield production needs to be way better. And once again, Dave Dombrowski is going to go out and get somebody, whether that's Luis Robert or whether that's any other outfielder that could just produce from that position. Dave's not going to go quiet, unlike what, some Phillies fans, the pessimistic people, want to be. Ranger Suarez, solid today, sadly, just didn't get a result that he deserved. And it is what it is. You won a series. That's the most important thing.
It is. It is the most important thing. And the Dave Dombrowski stuff is interesting, and it definitely opens up a whole different conversation that we will continue to have over these next couple of weeks and all. But you're right. Dave Dombrowski is not Chuck Fletcher, okay? This guy's one of the smartest men in all of baseball. I guarantee you. I'll put my life on the line. My life on the line. That Dave Dombrowski is aware on where this team currently stands, how all in they are. Now, that doesn't mean stupidity. That doesn't mean you piss away Andrew Painter, you piss away Aiden Miller because you're all in. No, you can't be dumb, and Dave is the farthest thing from dumb. But my point is, this guy sees where the Phillies line up. He sees how close they are. He knows how hungry he is to win. All right, he wants another championship. How badly Bryce and Kyle and all these cats, Zach Wheeler. Look, it's time. He knows where this team needs to improve. He's going to improve this team. And not just marginally. You might be able to look back at a previous year and say, is that all he did at the deadline? Really? It's not enough. I'm telling you, this year is different. This year will be splashier. And it's not as if some of these other moves weren't important. Mundo Sosa, Brandon Marsh. These are really nice acquisitions that are clearly changing the state of the franchise. So, pretty decent moves. And Mundo Sosa smacks around a 300 average when Trey Turner goes down. Brandon Marsh is clearly 10 times the player he was in Los Angeles, where he wasn't even useful. There's so much that he has found since becoming the president of baseball ops and making savvy moves. So let's not act like some of these acquisitions should just be like, hey, that's not that big of a deal. No, they still are. They still are. But there's going to be splashiness involved here. This season shines light differently on this franchise than the super slow starts. Are they going to sneak in? Are they going to be a wild card team? They're 14 games back of the Braves. Dave's got this. Dave's got this. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Off day Thursday for your fightings. Right back at it this weekend. Can't wait. Thank you guys all so much for the love, and I'll catch you on the next one.